Thank you.
Practice a bit, general code of conduct. Each economy is given one form, will be distributed form, and one word for each economy. So you may have two representatives, but there's only one word from each economy. And the form will be circulated around rationally. And it's all I call is a secret ballot, so that we will not, there's no traceability. We're not going to reveal which economy support which economy, because I think this is all for the sake of getting everybody to harmony at the end of the day. And it's also pleased to see there's not a strong, kind of polarized like Republicans or Democrats camps. There's no political party involved. It's just for the good. There are two potential candidates and leaders, but only one seat available. So now just the names, perhaps I say I want to give each of them 2 minutes to say something, so just introduce themselves a bit further, what the visions and missions look forward to them. I mean, sorry.
Hello, I'm Gansen Zhao from China, mainland China, and regarding to the nominees, we have some considerations about the next chairperson, right? It's a little bit difficult for us to make this comment at this moment because everybody is a bit familiar with member, and I personally think Robert Wong and Jehan are both very good person here, very active and contribute a lot, and they are very familiar with all the rules and etc. And personally, they both have my support. But there is an issue we need to consider, that is we are planning for the 2018 Apicta to be held in Guangzhou, and we all know about the relationship between mainland China and Chinese Taipei, right? And that will make a big obstacle for us to have government authorization and government support. And we do need everybody to consider this issue. If we cannot guarantee this, we cannot guarantee that we can run this.
I think points taken. We just, sorry.
You've compromised the whole process now.
Yeah.
Influencing people's voting.
No, okay, that's why I said, okay, if that's a remark. But I think that's why I said, I will give 2 minutes to give each the nominees to say something, to perhaps they want to clarify or list out their visions and forwards to bring Apicta to the next level. Perhaps let's start with, I'll go to order. Robert from Chinese Taipei. 2 minutes, please. Share with us.
Should we let you go first? No.
I'll go to Roman too, because it's just happened to the listing. There's no priority, nothing involved.
Oh, thank you. So, with full respect to Jihan as another candidate, I've been in the industry for more than 2 decades, and this is the most exciting charity job I have. And then we're all businessmen here. Hopefully, we go through it professionally and think. Dr. Zhao for admiring myself as a person. Thank you, although I understand your position. However, this is the things that I prepared. I got 3 pages only. As a reminder, this is the first EXCO meeting we had. I think a lot of you joined, and then a lot of you visited Taipei, and we had a very experimental Apicta 2016 in Taipei, and which a lot of you joined. And then when I say experimental, as we have a concurrent event. Why we're doing this? Because we want to maximize and utilize the time. Everybody, when you go visit the hosting member economies, you can mingle. You can mingle for what? You can mingle for business, for money, not for politics. Okay? Next page, please. Aside from that, we think, except in the annual Apicta competition, we're willing to invest more by inviting our EXCO members and our winning teams from different member economies, joining us at a different event that, a lot of you are on the photos, and a lot of your winning team are invited and subsidized flying to Taipei, joining all this event to obtain international exposure, to obtain more business opportunities. So this is what we have done extra other than a standard Apicta events and the practices. Next page. So everybody knows very well that there's a big organization behind me, which is the TCA. TCA support me and push me actually very hard to run the campaign for the next chairmanship. And they're willing to commit if we be able to get recognition from from our Apicta communities. So we will continue to do what we have done, and we are willing to invest more. I myself commit myself to visit at least 2 Apicta member economies for business engagement per year. And then we will be inviting at least 2 and maybe more Apicta member economies for smart city engagement with our subsidies. And then we are also committing to recruit new Apicta members. And aside from that, we are trying to build up more corporate sponsorship with lots of MNCs, and then also the venture investment capital communities in Asia Pacific, given we are now in touch with the chairman of that. And hopefully we can bring stronger strategic value and commercial value, given again, we're all businessmen, to the Apicta communities and trying to uplift the brand premium of Apicta. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. I will spend the next 2 minutes with Jihans to share with us her views.
Thank you. So this is difficult because Robert is also a friend, but I think it's important and it's exciting that Apicta has come to this, because that means that Apicta is relevant for all of us, that we are actually competing for the position of the chairperson, and that is a great sign as far as I'm concerned. Apicta is now more, for me personally and for Pakistan, it's more than just a competition. We have become a family and we have become friends. And I think in the beginning when Pakistan joined about 14 years ago, and that's how long it has been, we weren't sure that we would be relevant to the Apicta community because we felt it was just for advanced economies. But over this time, I'm glad to see and glad to acknowledge that it has been a great experience for countries like mine, economies like mine. We have brought in judges, we have brought in increased number of participants. We have also won in certain years and not won in certain years, which is the way it is because they're all winners from all our economies who come and participate. We have seen collaboration between countries, and one of the things that we have continuously spoken about is the fact that we need to make this more than just a competition. We need to collaborate in other areas because it seems we meet once a year, sometimes more than once at the EXCO meetings, but we're not taking this a step further. Somebody asked me when I put my name forward for the chairmanship, why now after so many years? And my answer is, up until now, and even now, even if Robert is elected, I have a great respect for Robert, the leadership has been very strong. I have not put in my name and Pakistan hasn't because we felt we weren't strong enough, we were not structured enough, and we didn't have the experience and the ecosystem that could help Apicta economies. Now the status is different. Over the last 10 years, I personally, with my EXCO members, have spent a lot of time developing the Pakistan infrastructure, the Pakistan ecosystem. For the last 3 years, we have worked very hard on the startup ecosystem. We have brought in investors from outside. And I think now the time is right for us to work together to help the member economies and the participants who come to Apicta. They must come for more than just the competition. The quality will improve further if you bring in, if we have venture capitalists at this event, if we have some sort of activities that will convince them that it is also a business proposition. And that's what I want to work on with all of you. And so I hope that you will vote for me. I'm really excited about this. I'm really passionate. I only put in my name for things that I think I'm capable of doing, and I really think I'm capable of this. So I hope to have your support. And I think it's about time Apicta showed that there's gender diversity in the leadership as well.
The award venue, the distance from here to award venue, on a Friday morning, we can reach there by 15 to 20 minutes. On a Sunday, it might take more than an hour. More than an hour. It might not take even. Excuse me, can I draw all of your attention, please? Excuse me. Let me remind you, it might not take that long even, because the traffic is very unpredictable in Dhaka. At the same time, for your comfort, I am speaking to the head authority of traffic police, so that all the Apicta bannered buses are given clearance, sometimes breaking the signals, so that you don't have to spend much time in the traffic. But again, now the formal award program will start at 4, so you might find yourself there at maybe 3:30. If we start even 2:30, and if the traffic polices help us the way they are committing, they said they have made no commitment. They said we will cooperate at the best level. So don't lose your heart. There will be things for you if you reach there early, so that you can spend your time in a nice manner. There are plenty of photographic opportunity, including a VR facility, virtual reality facility. You must let me share with huge pride. Very recently, before our liberation, on the 7th of March 1971, our father of nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, he has given a speech on the race course declaring the independence of Bangladesh that has been regarded by UN as the best ever speech of the whole world. So among top 3. So that is what we are celebrating. The celebration is going on. It's just a news couple of weeks before. So that 7th March speech we have prepared in a virtual reality. If you move inside, you can feel you are standing on 7th March. So these are few things we have done if you go early or even after the award program. The second announcement is we'll have the judges' photograph formally on the stage, and we'll give our best effort to get those photographs printed by the time we finish our gala dinner, before the gala dinner finishes, and we can hand over the certificate with the photograph. So bear with us with that. Thirdly, because of too many nominations, I had to produce certificate yesterday also. The certificate is actually on a very special paper. It takes a long time. It's not a regular printing. It takes a very long time. One certificate takes 7 to 8 minutes to get printed. So we have made a special effort for certificates. What we are doing is that for school and tertiary project, all rest of the categories will be given a merit certificate. For school and tertiary project, they will be given a certificate for their school, and then the number of students, we are giving them individual certificate also for every single student. And the certificates are coming up in a folder, but for the school and tertiary, we will not be able to give folder to every single student. The folder will be given to the school or the management authority, and the individual certificates will be given. The formal, it will be declared there as well during the program when it takes place. After the winning is done, awards are given, they move to the gala dinner. During that time, we'll take the official photograph with all the winners and the judges. Bear with us when you are moving towards the dinner venue, because the stage cannot accommodate so many people. Though it is a huge stage, still it cannot accommodate so many winners. 51, it might be 150 or maybe 200. I don't know the number because how many are represented in each project, I have no clue at this point of time. But we have arranged it separately for the winning photograph. Please find yourself, as I keep saying, judges are treated as VIP. We have one row in the very front for our local VIPs, including Apicta VIPs like chairman, vice chair. For all the judges and EXCO, the second row is there. So these are all, and for all the nominations and from the respective economies, we have designated zone to sit down. You'll find your how do I say, marks, notify yourself there. And also for the dinner venue, so you have your designated places. Judges are judges, EXCOs are EXCOs, they have, but for the nominees, one thing we have done purposefully, that every single dinner table has been shared by 2 economies at least, so that we don't sit among ourselves only, we interact, we share. So that's how we have planned. And last but not the least is that the award ceremony is taking place at Bangabandhu International Convention Center. This center is in the name of our father of the nation, and with his respect, it doesn't allow alcoholic beverage. It is written in our constitution. Any place in the name of Bangabandhu, it's very restricted for all these things. Please accept my apology that we will not be able to offer alcoholic beverage during gala dinner, but there is a but. But I'm a party man. So we will have an after dinner party with all of you, including the nominees, at the Radisson. I have booked the ballroom downstairs. So that's for only DJ and alcohol, no matter how long you want to go. So I'm not able to offer the alcoholic beverage in Bangabandhu, with all due respect to him. But we come back, whoever wants to come and join, they will come here and join the after dinner party. So far, from my memory, this much I can recall for the whole plan, and we'll try to have less speeches, but as many of you already know, I have mentioned it before, Apicta 2017 is 100% sponsored by our government. And they told us, don't waste your time to run after private sponsors. It will kill your time, rather you concentrate yourself, we'll take care of the money, rather you take care of the events and organizing. So therefore, they have to have a number of government guests. We have the senior most minister in the cabinet, our finance minister, he will be the chief guest. Today at 3 p.m. actually, we are presenting to our Prime Minister and he'll be happy to know, and our ICT advisor to the Prime Minister, who is son of our Prime Minister, what we have done in Apicta. He's unable to make it. We tried our level best to bring him in because he's our architect of Digital Bangladesh. So he looks after us, he guides us, we are under his umbrella. Mr. Shojib Wajid Joy, he's the son of our Prime Minister. So we are presenting to him what we are doing in Apicta, what we have done. So he asked for it. So he sent a formal email to our President, Mustafa Jabbar, apologizing that because he's very busy and he mostly lives in US. And he comes and go back. That's why during the time he comes to Bangladesh, his schedule are very tight. So we couldn't make it.
This is really my favorite one, my personal, to be honest, my personal #1 guy, because that engineers was fantastic, leveraging the existing cloud-based technologies and making this platform happen. So basically this Merit Award, this solution is a HR system for all the medical staffs for the entire country. So you see how many doctors or nurses here and there that spread it among the different geographical locations at a real-time basis in the whole country. So another good thing is that these guys are so good in visualizing that, because you I think you're all the executives, so you don't have the time to look into detailed strategy, right? So they're so good in visualizing everything that just like a cockpit, you have a dashboard that gives you a real-time feeling about what's going on. And another great thing that this team has done is that a lot of teams nowadays, especially from startups, they leverage all the native cloud applications that are provided by public cloud providers like AWS, Microsoft Azure, or Google. But these guys are just taking an infrastructure provided by the government and make an agnostic platform on top of that. And on top of that, they'll be able to grow a lot of SaaS application or even DaaS applications, if I may borrow the cloud terminologies. So fantastic from my point of view. It's a trend-setting, trend-setting type of applications.
Robert, I'm sorry.
Anyway, that's the second one, and the third one is also goes to Bangladesh. It's e-ticketing things. Bangladesh is a fast-growing economy, so. Also in Dhaka, so they told me that the policemen, given the expansion of the city, they grow from 200 to 1,000 something. And in the past, they issued a fine. It's a paper-based process. Is that lots of policemen they need to issue the paper-based tickets to the violators on the street, and then they electronicalize that. And given, of course, to some member economies, this can be kind of happened a long time ago, but it does, solve the big problems of the quick expanding Bangladesh society and the economies. And also, it links back to all the e-payment type of things that the people can pay online through their pay credit cards, so they'll need to queue in the bank and then pay with all these paper tickets from the police. So in short, we found these three teams has done a great job, and then we ranked them as winner and the 2 mayors from Bangladesh. And then actually the fourth one has come with a big gap of the scores, so we don't see any issue in this. So simply, that's our team's result.
We are really concerned that all these things that they are fighting neck to neck, and several times we asked them, hey, are we sure that we are doing it proper with it? Then they said, no, we did. Thank you, Robert, for your kind patience and your team. I congratulate you all. Thank you.
Thank you.
And let me go to the next slide, which is e-learning category. E-learning category. Nico?
I have to remind my mind about what I would like to explain. There is a tough day, the first day, there is a 12 nominee, and all goods. So the judges work so hard to make careful about this one. But I would like to mention a little bit about the result of this. Okay, so based on the result, we are not only take a look to the technology, but also we'll take a look to the content, more detail, and also the innovations. The one that the winner, the 10-minute school. So the judge asked, why 10 minutes? Yeah, 10 minutes. In Bangladesh, everything has to be solved within 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, it will be boring. So they create such content, so much content actually on the system, and it is workable. The impact is so much for the Bangladesh. And then its content can be the one that can learn from the content in less than 10 minutes. So everything should be divided into less than 10 minutes learning. So that is the one that use amount of content, applicable technology, and it works well on the targeted customer. So it is why that we put the 10 minutes. And also, the presenter is so good in convincing us. So we are very good to take a look at. And then about the merit. It is really hard actually, yeah, okay, so there is 5% score, it's real 5% difference, yeah. And then the one is the skill book, like that we take a look last night. He is the music teacher and also a lecturer in the university. And based on both capability, they create this this solution scalable. So the solution is that the student who learn about the music, they can practicing and send the results through the cloud and then give to the teacher. Okay, and the other one is from the China Taipei is the Tickle apps. Tickle apps is a new way of learning programming. So they would like to go to the new way of learning programming using all devices, but all devices has already IoT device. So by playing,
excuse me, I have to finish this meeting.
Yeah, okay.
Because there are 17 things. If everybody is taking 5 minutes, it will be 1.5 hours.
No problem,
right? So please see that we keep it to very short, whatever it is we are doing, and then because I'm very tight with the time.
Yeah, okay. And then finally, there is one thing that is make me feel unhappy about this the process. Not really unhappy, but there is something that we have already report to the head judge, and would like to escalate to the EXCO, which is on this category. There are 4 from Bangladesh. It's supposed to be 3.
Yeah.
So that is an issue, but it is a matter of fact. We are judging and we are programming. Okay, thank you very much.
The judges, myself from Chinese Taipei and Bangladeshi, Myanmar, Thailand, and Pakistani. Okay, so we have 5 judges here, and then in the start I told them these are kids. Okay, so we have to be generous. That's why you can see that this is the first time you see an 8.248. Okay, so we like them. In fact, the judging process spent 2 days. Okay, the first day I thought we are going to have a primary school entry that wins this school project. However, the next day come in, and the primary school, in terms of performance, they are the best. However, in terms of content, they lose out to this is a A-level student. So this is an A-level student. But he's very good. He's a solo project. He tried to build a box by himself and then connect it to an onboard diagnostic port on the car, and then do some hardware and software things. He did his own soldering and put an Arduino thing inside and GPS module and things like that. Hardware and software combined. Okay, so it's fantastic. And also he got a patent. Okay, for his design. So this the first goes to Sri Lanka. And the second one is also related to driving. It's also from Sri Lanka, and this is, mind you, this is grade 4 students, a group of 3 to 4 grade 4 students. They are very, very good. Okay, so if not for the Sri Lankan, they will get it. Okay, so that's why I went back to talk to the chairman, the chief judge, and advisory judges, and I strongly urge that we should split primary school and senior high schools in the future. Okay, so we have 18 entries, and then some of the entries, for some reasons, they fall under the 6.65 line. So they do not get it. Beyond the 6.65 lines, you can see that the last one is a 6.896. We give them all medals. They are all very fantastic. This is the first time I judge a school school category, and I volunteer to be the head judge of school entry next year. That is by far the most interesting entry and the most interesting category. Thank you very much.
And the judges in our team include Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Hong Kong, and Brunei. And I must say that I have thoroughly enjoyed the session because they were extremely professional. I also want to congratulate all the economies entries. The quality of the entries was superb. And what we also observed, that the presentation from the economies were very good. And on top of that, what we also noticed is that there is an increase of female presenters as well as ladies actually participating in the ICT award in the tertiary. So I think this is something that perhaps we ought to consider to reward maybe the best presenter, because some of them, we would really want to recognize them, but we have no avenue to recognize them. So perhaps this is something that we want to talk about during the EXCO meeting. So the winner is actually from Hong Kong, Haptic Hand. And then we have also quite a lot of entries that we thought is deserving of the merit. Because the number of awards or the number of nominations are quite high, so we were having a really difficult time to decide who the winner is. So finally we decided on Hong Kong because in terms of the innovations, in terms of the maturity of the project, I think that is one of the more advanced compared to the rest of the solutions that is being presented. A lot of them are still at conceptual, proof of concept, and even the prototype is still very, very early stage. But I think in terms of Hong Kong, I think that product actually comes out a little bit more advanced in terms of the progress that's been made. And then we have another 8 of them. Originally, we were saying that now we will not reward so many because we also want the awards to be deserving, where people don't feel that, you know, that those who didn't get it is going to feel pretty crappy about it. So, but in the end, we actually still give out a lot of them. And although the scores, if you look at the scores, they are actually very tight. The scores by the judges are actually so tight that our chief judge actually got to come in to our room and say, you know, judges, these are students, please don't be so strict with the scores.
You guys are too stingy.
Yeah, I'm sorry to say.
Yes, we were very tight. Now, although there is, if you look at it, although we can see that there is differences, but I can tell you that we were quite indifferent throughout. This doesn't mean that EcoStreet is the least of all the lot. It's really not. But it's just that we need to put some points in and we just couldn't get them to be coordinated to be exactly the same. But I must say that all of them are actually very deserving of the merit. That's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Simon. Thank you. Thank you. And sorry that we pushed you hard to give and open your marking system. Thank you.
How many minutes?
In these categories, it's very difficult to have innovative approach on, especially on the technology. So the market is also very mature, and the winner is from the Thailand. What you think is using another angle to think about the local tourists. They recruit a lot of the experts in the local. For example, some are good in cook, and some are good in the street, and some are good in the river, or something like that. They create a new ecosystem to bring out the local tourists, shop tourists. So everything is being considered in the system, and the system is also very mature, and it also to work very well and generate very good revenue to show the contributor to the Thailand tourism. The two merit, one is Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka is the DCS, the departure control system, which is some kind of the transportable check-in system. It's just not only the check-in system at the front end, but also it has the management system at the back end with all sort of the check-in the components inside of it, which can be used for the budget airline and the small airport, and also it can be used as the backup system for the big airlines, like the Qatar is also one of their customers. So another merit is from Singapore is the Locomo. Locomo is in fact they well use the AR and the animation integrate into it, and which can be used for the tourists which doesn't have very good foreign language skill, that when he use the apps, they can use the AR to see the site or the heritage site, that the history or the photo gallery and let them know more about without have any barrier of the language. So this is what the result of it.
Thank you. Thank you, Michael. Thank you.
This year's entries are quite very, they do go with the technology trend and integrating AI, data analytics, what else again? Yeah, and of course, embedded algorithm. Now, we have seen from China, this is actually a university project. We unanimously decided to award this as merit because of the technology trend and the work that they have actually, the results. All right, this is about, you know how movie credits and how producers and box offices, they very rarely get a very good rating. So these kids actually came up with a very interesting project that actually help not just by the viewers but also by the external viewers that's not watching these movies to actually come up with, you know, credit ratings, especially for the actors such as Jackie Chan. Okay, now now for this one actually, our recommendation, yeah, for the Chief Judge and also for the EXCO to consider to be very careful in deciding which of your entries to go into which category, because it's sad. Had they, you know, been in the right category, they would have actually been better. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, the second one, the second merit goes to Bioscope. Bioscope is like your Netflix, but the thing about this one, it's a Bangladesh locally developed, but it has expanded to 9 other countries. It not just only provide content in Bangladesh language, but it also provided content per country, you know, localized countries. So the countries they've gone to is Malaysia, I think it's also Singapore, and the Middle East. Yeah. Now, I must say, we all must say, Video Assure came out as a clear winner, very, very clear. Now, Video Assure is all about monitoring and predicting 7 days the performance of any buffering, especially to do with when you're going to watch the World Cup, or what's the next one coming up, the World Cricket or something like that. Yeah. So this is interesting. It's also worked with ESPN, yeah, Star Asia, and a lot more bigger organizations. And they're not just based in Singapore. They are also based. They've actually crawled outside of Singapore to places like Canada, the US, and some parts of Europe. Okay. Thank you on that note. But please, again, remember, don't put your entries in a very bad manner, huh? And especially, it's sad because we love what they've done, but they're in the wrong category. Yeah, it's not fair on them. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
In these categories, we have 5 nominees. They all presented to the presentations, and we have 5 judges from Thailand, Bangladesh, China, Australia, Malaysia. We have 1 winner and 2 merits. 1 winner is actually from Hong Kong. They are doing LTE communication base for train control, already implemented in Wuhan, 1 line, 30 stations, and they are replacing the Wi-Fi signal, which is have a lot of problem on interference. So this is the winner that we have. It's a consensus. At first, only 4 judges agree on this, and then after discussions, we have a consensus on this. And there are 2 merits award from Bangladesh and Malaysia. They are in POC, proof of concept. That's why they got a merits award. So this is all about the communication. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr.
I want to thank my honorable judges. They are all very professional, and I really enjoy working together with them. Now, the winner is from Sri Lanka, Selfie Cash, all right? Selfie Cash is actually a very innovative, revolutionary way of putting your fixed deposit. At the same time, you can also take loan. That means you can draw money. Usually, you know, fixed deposit, you put money, you cannot. There's a tenure before you can withdraw. But it is such an innovative and revolutionary way of doing, you know, putting money and also loaning. In fact, it is an automated loan machine. All right, self-service. That prompted me to want to put my money in Sri Lanka using Selfie Cash. Really, if I have more money and they allow me, I think I want to use them. Then the merit winner goes to cashless payment software from Malaysia, Sonic Room. Okay, basically, if you know all the vending machine and kiosk, it's only meant for cash, but they have came out with the technology, which basically is the hardware, where you can easily just tap your credit card, debit card, you know, your e-card, whatever card that you have that have money, you just tap and then you will just withdraw, you know, then you will deduct. So it's a very interesting way of solving unattended environment. And last but not least, it goes to Vietnam. We were all very impressed because first it has a social impact, highly penetrated e-payment financial services system. Okay, I think that's all I want to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Shirley. Thank you, Shirley.
Okay, easy programming and laser routing and can carry 500 kilometer cargo. The two merits go to Australia. Is a brick layer can automatically brick laying can change construction industry. And the second merit goes to Hong Kong. It's a smart water meter by wired and wireless method to test the water leakage. It can save water. They all do excellent job. Thank you.
Oh, 1 minute.
We are one of the last to present our results, but we were actually the first category to finish the entire judging process, testing the online judging system and everything. Well, we had judges from Chinese Taipei, Thailand, and Sri Lanka, and unfortunately, the local judge could not make it because of family emergency. And also, originally, we've got 6 nominees, but one of the nominee from Thailand had to withdraw. So we've got 5. We were a little bit worried whether we could find good entries, but it turns out that we got high quality entries in our category as well. The winning entry is from Sri Lanka. The company originally focuses on NFC and authentication technology, and it's a very good case of how they apply their technology into another domain in helping to streamline the logistic and supply chain management of the TV production industry, which is a big industry in Sri Lanka. And also, I'm an old person, I've been judging here for so long, but this particular team, they made a fantastic presentation, making use of animation to tell us exactly what the problem is and how they solve the problem. So this is very high quality. And you could tell the 2 merit award goes to Bangladesh, and Bangladesh is actually very strong. They show that they're very strong in retail and e-commerce management in the country. The first one, the first one is actually Prism. They focuses on a cloud-based point-of-sale system, and they've got a large customer base helping these small retail stores. The first one, Smart Sales, they focuses on large brand names, including Pepsi, Nestle, and Esquire, and with lots of features. Both of the entries, they've got data analytics really to help the business to track their businesses. Okay, thank you very much.
Good morning, Chief Judge and fellow judges. In this category, we had only 4. Very easy to do, but we had judges from China, Chinese Taipei, we had from Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, and from Malaysia. The winner was clearly from China. They have captured 30% of the market, the ATM market, and they had a very interesting way to manage and secure ATM transfers and money transfers from place to place, but they also had different kind of lock system, which was really innovative. So we decided to give them the winner. The two merits went to Bangladesh. Rave Antivirus, they had compared themselves against the 34 top antivirus companies in the world, and they had kind of built around other features and functionalities that would make them stand out, and we decided to give them a merit for this. Secure Wall is another one, which has gone beyond firewalls and how do you secure basically wall-to-wall and also the enterprise in a very, very productive and secure way. So we decided to do that, but there was one particular entry, I must say. When they first came in, two ladies presented, I must say they had complete, full energy, dynamic, words that you can find. Unfortunately, they were in the wrong category. We only found out through halfway because when we were presenting them, we realized they were actually from the university, research and development. So, we went through the motion, but we could not mark them accordingly. So that's it for security. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mike glad this is the last time we're going to be judging this category. Like anything, it's quite one of the more complex ones because it's a wider range of solutions, and a lot of them were very good. The winner we decided was to go with GoAnimate. It's an advanced video producing platform that's proven very, very popular globally. It's extremely easy to use. It's got a great user interface. It was a well-polished presentation, and by far it was the winner. We allocated two merits. One was a Smart Office Suite, which is an advanced cloud-based Internet of Things platform, really advanced with actually proven a wide array of solutions from employee monitoring, dry cleaning monitoring, warehousing, and with a plethora of IoT devices, which I felt was one of the more advanced IoT platforms we've ever seen. Fishtron Indonesia was a brilliant little like a robot monitoring system, which basically automates the feeding of fish in ponds. They had both an off-pond and an on-pond system, which also measured water quality, and a clear example of a specific need for an economy that could go absolutely global. It was a great opportunity. That product, it was very, very impressive. Again, we had the usual couple of nominations in wrong categories. Hopefully next year that won't be an issue. So essentially, yeah, and we're very comfortable and happy with that result. No questions? All good?
Thank you, Fulvi. Thanks.
Good morning, Chief Judge and judges. This is R&D category. You know, this is the most diversified category where sometimes we see nominations from automobiles, sometimes from medical. So I'm very happy. We actually got 13 nominations from different countries, and I am really happy having my co-judges from Brunei, Singapore, China, and Vietnam. They are very much well experienced for the judging of this category. And I must mention one thing, that whatever we actually did, we actually come to the conclusion that we actually all agreed for the result, and the deviation was very little in our category. So in our category, the winner is from Australia. The project name is Hyperloop. You will be very glad to know that they are actually making a vacuum tube tray that can travel 1,000 kilometers per hour. And they actually made prototype of that, and hopefully they're coming to the, we can actually, as they say, we can actually ride that train after 12 months. So this is very good, and they are working, they're giving their best and for these innovative things. And we got two merits. One is from Bangladesh, that is called, this is The project name is Boltichai. They are actually they came up with a good solution for the autistic babies who actually can't speak well. Currently, there are lots of solutions for autistic baby, but they come with very innovative things, and they actually have the complete full prototype of that. And we judges were very impressed to give them a merit. And then and another merit is from Australia. This is, the project name is KeySense, Technology for Self-Powering Wireless. These days, wearable technology is basically very going tough for the battery. So we need actually very sustainable battery in smaller size. So what they actually did, they actually invented a technology where they can sense without the battery. So they come up with very good prototype, and we all agreed to give them a merit in our category. So that's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr.
This year, if you look at that number of scores which is above 20% deviation is 57. But we must also understand, altogether we have made 845 scores. Wow. So the percentage of this one, 6.75, is actually quite reasonable and one of the lowest. Just to like to actually congratulate every one of you. Now, one thing we actually noticed that with the system, we hope that in future we'll continue to have this kind of system because and you encourage the HR to actually look at that one, because we noticed that there are some categories they didn't actually look at that part. So finally, when they submit the result, you can see that the whole page full of deviations and all that. Okay, but the other thing is actually none of deviation is related to winners, so this is quite clear. And then there's one which is related to merit, okay, and that one come from a Singapore judge, but not related to the same economy. But I would like to highlight over here the two categories. One in tertiary, there's one Brunei judge, same economy, 20.2% plus for the same entry, for the entry from the same country. But what we're going to highlight is actually for application. For that one, there's one BD judge, okay, in 2 occasions for the entries from the same country. Actually, there's been deviation of 30 and 20%. Very clear lah. We must also understand that when we look at this one, plus and when we say 20%, it means plus and 20%. Yeah. So it's actually a 40% range for them to move around. It's very, very lenient already. Okay. So, but it's still actually flag up for this particular one. And then the other one is actually for TH judge in that category, also 21.3. So this one maybe the economy cognitive need to actually pay attention to, right, and know and check the respective charges and all that. Okay. Now the other one I also want to highlight over here is actually beside this one, this year we also see one pattern, because since we know about this 20%, so we detected one case. I think thanks to Dr. Yung, we detected one case is actually the technique is like this one. Maybe I share with you so that in future you can actually notice more. Okay, we found out that actually for that particular judge, okay, his country, the entry is actually listed number 2. Okay, number 2, and then so for number 2 we can see that there's actually a increase in terms of deviation, but not yet 20%, a lot, close to 20%. And then at the same time, for the number 1, which is from other country, the deviation is negative, also very huge, but less than 20%. Just to let you know. So this is something that maybe in future we should also pay attention to lah. But luckily we went in and then to double check on that part. Okay. Before we open for any question, there's another thing that I'd like to show. The next, the other Excel file. So these times, first time I showed that over the past Apictas. How is it? But we can see that since we started actually looking into this deviation analysis and all that, if you compare to 2013, of course earlier we have also done, we have started testing for many years, okay? But the one in Hong Kong is the time that we have this system. I mean, when you can view and all that.
It's just menu, it's not true.
Look at the table.
Oh, menu. This is No, this is not by country, I know. Sorry, it's the menu. I just want to see that. You see, initially in Hong Kong that time, it's actually quite high, 11 and all that. Over this year, it has actually gone down, and in terms of those, this one, especially that time, is quite severe. Okay, and then I think we have taken a lot of actions, and then we have blacklist some of the judges, and then from that onwards, and then subsequently, all the coordinators have been advised, and then when we assign judges and we send judges, we actually refer to that list lah. Okay, so I think this year is 6.75 is actually, I can say this is the best among all, because in Taipei, because at that time the system actually, during the normalization, it allows actually smaller standard deviation. Okay, so generally this one should be lower. It's a testing case now, but we think that this is not good enough, because although we have done this one, it is quite high also here. But this year you can really see that this one has gone down, and this has gone down in general also because I think Chief Judge actually went into some session and then interact with the head judges, and then you all have further discussion and then more consensus. So they have actually managed to reduce this one further. I think nobody has really, I mean, everybody comes here for the good intention and trying to actually promote for quality products. I think this is the spirit we should have. Thank you very much.